looking at the customer experience impact and the competitive nature of, getting deposits in or trading a new, offering a new product or service. It is a competitive scenario. And so in the past, I guess it's an ongoing debate. Sometimes people see KYC as not competitive because it's something that everybody's subject to. Certainly, there are things that as an industry, there's room for everybody to take a big step forward. And I would argue still then margin to differentiate competitively with the customer experience you provide. But I think that's why financial institutions are looking at corporate digital identity as more than an ops problem or more than a compliance problem or more than a data problem. Like, you really have to think about the opportunity for the bank at large if you think about the number of touch points corporate digital identity hits on in terms of the operating model of the bank. And, is it connected with a your client relationship management system? Is it connected with your risk systems? Is it feeding into data lakes? Is it feeding into customer, client lifecycle management systems? So this identity has traditionally been a source of a bottleneck, or it has traditionally limited what you could do and what services you could offer and what you would reasonably expect to be able to turn around, because you just accepted, well, first I'm going to have to, look up something on this company register, and then I'm going to have to go and check that at another source, and then I'm going to have to ask the customer for the difference, and that's probably going to be 6 weeks of back and forth by email. And now we're saying, well, what if all of that was digitized already, and you can call on it according to the requirements of the particular scenario and build the identity and do that in a time frame that means you can offer a different service or have a different customer experience available. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of excitement, because it's not just an incremental process improvement. It's about how do we think differently about how we organize ourselves, and there's consequences for that in terms of workforce planning and resourcing, the level of checking you need to do. Can you now see a maker and put them in a checker role because the making is being automated, for example? So how does that impact your capacity? So it's a very holistic picture if you step back and look at all the places that the corporate digital identity can touch.
How about on the innovation side, like coming up in 2025, not that many months ahead of us, as you and your role with Encompass look ahead on the horizon, are there one or two things that you'd like to share and, look ahead, help us to crystallize in our minds where the industry may be going in terms of the advancements in the technology available for next year?
Yeah, thank you, Paul. Yeah, I think the idea of having a digital means to share the information that would always typically be shared privately, a trust document or a director ID, things like this, which have henceforth been shared via email. I think looking at secure means, portals that are controlled by the client and uploading them owning, controlling, permissioning the way that information gets shared. I think that's a trend we'll see, and the technology's there to deliver upon. And in different parts of the world, seeing initiatives and demand where there are, standards emerging so that those sorts of platforms can bring efficiency to the way the bank works. And I think another really exciting area is intelligent document processing. So where we're seeing technologies that can take some of those forms or faxes that have been in years gone by or come in as paper forms or official filings or documents that get submitted to registers and other things, and take those and extract the information from them, but not just for the sake of extracting it, but so that it can then be used in real time to automate due diligence and make each search and inquiry go further, because you've been able to harness the information that's been taken from those official documents. So that's another area of technology that offers a lot of promise. Is very exciting at the moment.
I can't let you go without asking one question as it relates to the market I'm in here in Canada and the Canadian Regulatory Tech Association. I know you're based in the US now, and the
New York.
company in New York. Company was founded in Australia, operating now in many different jurisdictions. But without disclosing specifics, can you share, is Canada a market in which Encompass has been making some traction? Are you seeing success in terms of awareness and adoption of your solutions here?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of our biggest clients are in Canada, and we definitely see demand in that market, particularly banks that are operating globally from Canada and offering those corporate and wholesale or capital markets type offerings. They're subject to the same regulations and complexities in terms of offering products to clients operating globally. And so really the need for automation and being able to verify the identity of corporate customers using publicly available and privately shared information is very applicable. But there's also things that are unique or nuanced to the Canadian landscape in terms of the amount of information that's available at some of those public sources, and how that's in fact changing as well. In Canada, like in other jurisdictions across the world, heightened focus on beneficial owners and how we get that transparency that helps bring everyone confidence and comfort around who they're dealing with. So yeah, absolutely, very much a key market for Encompass for sure. And we've been there over the last 2 years, and will continue to be. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. That concludes our time that we'd allowed. But again, it was a pleasure for you and I to catch up here, to also bring your message to our listeners and members and guests of the Canadian RegTech Association. So thank you so much for today, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, Paul. Look forward to collaborating further. Nice to chat with you today.
Likewise. Thank you, Alex.